In 1967, engineer and producer Bill Putnam changed the recording studio forever when he redesigned his hugely successful 176 limiting amplifier, replacing the vacuum tubes at its heart with FET technology to create the URI 1176, the world's first solid-state compressor. The 1176 has been recreated in several software plugins in recent years, and among the very best of them is IK Multimedia's Black 76. Yours for free only with this edition of Computer Music. In this tutorial, we'll explore every aspect of the 1176, using Black 76 as our stand-in, from what each of its controls do to some of the specific techniques for which it's known. To claim your unique Black 76 serial number and get the software installed, follow the instructions in CM254. Computer Music's free Black 76 giveaway expires on May the 23rd, 2018. With any compressor, the level that the input signal has to reach before compression actually begins is called the threshold. The 1176 is unusual in that the threshold is set by the input gain knob and ratio selection. As the input knob is turned clockwise, it simultaneously increases the gain of the incoming signal and lowers the threshold. Conversely, increasing the ratio raises the threshold. Set the ratio to 8:1, gradually raise the input knob, and see how the gain reduction meter shows more reduction as the signal is driven harder over the threshold. At the other end of the signal path, the output knob is used to apply makeup gain, compensating for post-compression changes in overall level at the output. The amount of compression applied to the input signal is determined by the ratio. At 4:1, the signal is only allowed to rise in volume at the output by 1 decibel for every 4 decibels it exceeds the threshold. At 8:1, it takes an 8 decibel rise at the input for a 1 decibel increase at the output, and so on. Increasing the ratio also raises the threshold, and at 12 and 20:1 you're in limiting territory with a high threshold and extreme compression. The 1176's attack and release controls range clockwise from slow to fast, rather than the other way round as is the norm. Most notably, the attack is incredibly fast, 20 microseconds at its fastest, and a still very quick 800 microseconds fully anti-clockwise. Clicking the off button under the attack knob disables compression entirely, turning Black 76 into a colouring amplifier. Named after a 1960s ad campaign by the eponymous drinks company that suggested everyone needs a sugar hit at 10, 2 and 4 o'clock, the Dr. Pepper setting serves as a great starting point for general purpose compression, making just about anything sound more upfront and solid. Set the attack to 10 o'clock, release to 2 o'clock, and ratio to, you guessed it, 4:1. Pressing the All button activates the famous 1176 All Buttons In or British mode. This sets the ratio somewhere between 12:1 and 20:1 and introduces a very particular kind of distortion that can sound great on drums especially, but also works wonders on basses, vocals and other sounds.
If you pull me closer like I know you should, would you ever let go?
With its speedy attack and all buttons in mode, the 1176 certainly has the raw aggression required for parallel compression. Black 76 doesn't include a wet-dry mix control though, so insert it into an auxiliary return bus with the all button activated and a high attack setting, then send your source track to the bus and crank the input. Balance the dry and compress signals with the aux bus's level fader. Thanks to the tiny level fluctuations they introduce to the signal, the 1176's ultra-fast attack and release times can impart an unusual style of distortion that can be beneficial to basses and drums in particular. Start with both fully clockwise, then back them off to tweak the effect. Try different ratios too. Clicking Black 76's attack off button, or turning the attack fully anti-clockwise on a real 1176, deactivates compression by setting the ratio to 1:1. Why would you want to do this? Because even when it's idling, the circuitry of the 76 can make things sound warmer and fatter. Overdrive the input to dial in saturation. Black 76 features both left, right and mid-side stereo routing options. To switch between them, click the LR and MS buttons, and to adjust the settings for both channels in your selected pair together, light up the equals button. In mid-sides mode, activating the M or S button enables you to edit every parameter for the mono, mid and stereo sides channels separately. This is useful for, say, toughening up the centre of a drums bus without affecting the dynamics of the stereo overheads and ambience channels, or vice versa, or simply altering the perceived width of a stereo sound by rebalancing the two channels and compressing them independently. Black 76 includes a small library of descriptively named presets that make good starting points for processing a variety of sources. Add your own setups to the menu by clicking the Save As option at the bottom. You can also use the Copy To button to copy settings between the A, B, C and D slots for instant comparison of up to 4 setups, while the Undo and Redo buttons step backwards and forwards through your edits chronologically. Finally, the buttons to the right of the VU meter switch between gain reduction metering and output level metering, with the 0 dB line representing +4 or +8 dB of the output, and turn the plugin off. As well as being a self-contained plugin, Black 76 is also available as a module in the plugin and standalone versions of IK Multimedia's AAX 5 host. The AAX 5 plugin lets you build custom channel strips using Black 76 and any other AAX modules on your system and save them for use in future projects. The standalone AAX 5 does the same thing, but with mastering in mind rather than tracking and mixing. Load a track into the clip list, build your mastering chain, and even arrange multiple tracks as an album in the album assembly window. Powered by IK's Sample Tank engine, Syntronic is a vast 58GB compendium of sampled classic synths, given an authentic analog feel by the onboard drift technology and an impressive array of filter models and types. The homogeneous interface sacrifices depth for ease of use, but with over 2,000 presets on board, the sound you want is only ever a few clicks away. Modo Bass is the world's first physically modelled bass guitar plugin. It features 14 classic basses which can be used as is or customised by playing around with their pickup types and positioning and various string properties. Amp simulation and 4 effects pedals bring the tone, while multiple key-switched articulations yield totally convincing performances. Also built on the sample tank engine, Miroslav Philharmonic 2 is a huge orchestral rompler, 58GB again, and packing in over 2,700 solo and ensemble instrument presets plus 10 orchestral multis. With its beautiful and consistent sound, intuitive workflow and extensive range of articulations, Miroslav Philharmonic 2 could be the only orchestral library you ever need. If you like Black 76, you can upgrade to various versions of the full T-Rax 5 at www.ikmultimedia.com.